हेलो फ्रेंड्स, हम अपने घटना चक्र के इंडियन पॉलिटी की सीरीज को कंटिन्यू करते हैं। अब नेक्स्ट इस पार्ट में हम पार्ट ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस को देखेंगे। द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस डिवाइडेड इनटू 22 पार्ट्स, पार्ट 4A एंड पार्ट 14A were added by the 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Part 9A added by 74th Amendment Act 1992. Part 9B was added 97th Amendment Act 2011. Part subject और article covered. Part first में the Union and its territories 1st to 4th. Part second में citizenship 5 to 11. Part third में fundamental rights 12 to 35. Part 4 में डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसीज आर्टिकल 36 to 51. पार्ट 4A में फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़. पार्ट 5 में यूनियन गवर्नमेंट आर्टिकल 52 to 151. पार्ट 6 में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट 152 to 237. पार्ट 8 में यूनियन टेरिटरीज 239 to 242. पार्ट 9 में द पंचायत 243 to 243 ZC. पार्ट 9A में म्यूनसिपलिटीज़ 243 B to 243 ZZ. पार्ट 9B कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज़ 243 ZH to 243 ZT. पार्ट 10 द शेड्यूल्स एंड द ट्राइबल एरियाज 244 to 244A. Part 11 relationship between the union and the state 245 to 263. Part 12 financial properties courts acts 264 to 300A suits. Part 13 trades commerce and intercourse within the territory of the Indias 301 to 307. Part 14 service under the union and the state 308 to 323. Part 14A tribunals 223A to 223B. Part 15 elections 324 to 329A. Part 16 special provision relating to certain classes 330 to 342. Part 17 official languages 343 to 351. Part 18 emergency provisions 352 to 360. Part 19 miscellaneous 361 to 367. Part 20 amendment of the Constitution 368. Part 21 temporary transitions and special provisions 369 to 392. Part 22 short title commencement authorities text in Hindi repeals 393 to 395. So फर्स्ट पेयर के यहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है. द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डिवाइडेड इनटू 22 पार्ट्स. ऑप्शन बी. Originally there were 22 parts and 395 articles and 8 schedules. Consider the following subjects and arrange them into sequential orders as mentioned in the constitutions. The Union Territories, fundamental duties, citizenships, directive principle of state policies. The first Union Territories, first citizenships, fundamental rights, फिर directive principle of state policy. Union and Territories, Article 1 to 4, citizenship 5 to 11, fundamental rights 12 to 35, directive principle of state policy 36 to 51. Article 4A fundamental duties 51A. The provision of the Elections Commission in India's Indian Constitution was inspired by which of the following countries? Election Commission of India in the Indian Constitution was inspired by which of the following countries? Ireland, United Kingdom, United States, and none of them. So option D, none of the above. The method of the elections of the president in India of constitutions was inspired by the Ireland. The election commissions of the Indian constitution is not inspired by any constitutions of world. Hence option D is covered. So election commissions किसी और कंट्री से इंस्पायर नहीं था, बट जो प्रेसिडेंट का इलेक्शन था वो आयरलैंड से इंस्पायर था. विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट मैच करेक्टली? सिटीजनशिप पार्ट 2 करेक्ट है. फंडामेंटल राइट्स पार्ट 3 करेक्ट है. फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज पार्ट 4A इज नॉट करेक्ट. स्टेट Part 6 of the Constitution सही है. The provision relating fundamental duties is included in Part 4A, not Part 6A. Part 4A, which was inserted in the Indian Constitution in 1976. The other options are correctly matched. Which part of the Constitution envisages a 3-tier system of Panchayati Raj? Part 9. In 1992, 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment were passed by the Parliament. 73 amendments is about rural local governments known as Panchayati Raj institution. 74th amendments is related to urban local government, Nagarpalikas. 73rd amendments introduce 3-tier of Panchayat systems in Part 9 of the Constitution. At the base is Gram Panchayat, which covers a village or a groups of village. The intermediaries levels is the mandal or the taluka panchayats. The intermediary levels body need not to be constituents in smaller states having a populations of less than 20 lakh. At the apex is the Jila Panchayat, which cover the entire rural areas of the district. Which part and the chapter of the Indian constitutions deal with the legislative relation between the union and the states? Part 11, chapter 1st. Part 11 of the Indian constitution deal with the relations between the union and the state. Chapter 1st of the part 9, 10, 11 is about the distribution of the legislative powers between the union and the states, whereas the chapter 2 deals with the administrative relations between the. Part 12 deals with the financial properties, contracts and suits. Match list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answers using the codes given below. Subjects part of the Constitution: abolitions of titles, organizations of the village panchayats to provide opportunities for education to the child's wards between 16 to 14 year age. India, that is Bharat, is the state union of the states. The abolition of titles, ये तो फंडामेंटल राइट्स में आ गया. abolition of titles, fundamental rights, organizations of village panchayat, directive principle of state policies to provides opportunities for education to the child's ward between 16 to 14 age is fundamental duties. India, that is Bharat, is the union of the state, the union and the territories, union and its territories. So option B is correct. Which part of the following is correctly matched? Part 2, fundamentals of the rights of the Constitution is wrong. Part 3, citizenship color. Part 4A, फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ये करेक्ट है. पार्ट 5 डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल रॉन्ग. पार्ट 2 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन रिलेटेड टू द सिटीजनशिप्स. पार्ट 3 फॉर फंडामेंटल राइट्स. Part 4 is the directive principle of state policies. Part 4 is related to the fundamental duties, and Part 5 is related to union. Thus, option C is correct matched. Which one among the following is not correctly matched? Citizenship Part 2, Union Territories Part 7. So option B is incorrect. Union Territories Part A में है. Municipalities Part 9A ठीक है. Elections Part 15 is correct. Union Territories Part 8 में. Match list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer by using the codes given below. Part 9 of the Indian Constitutions. Part 8 of the Indian Constitution. Part 4A of the Constitutions. Part 9A of the Indian Constitutions. So correct match करना है. तो म्यूनिसिपलिटीज पार्ट 9A में होगा, और पार्ट 9 में पंचायत, और पार्ट 8 में यूनियन टेरिटरीज, एंड पार्ट 4A में फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज. सो ऑप्शंस ए इज करेक्ट. पार्ट 9 में पंचायत, पार्ट 8 में यूनियन टेरिटरीज, पार्ट 4A में फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज, एंड पार्ट 9A में म्यूनिसिपलिटीज. Question 11. Which among the following provisions part of the Constitution is not correctly matched? Official languages 17 correct. Union and territories 8 correct. Schedules and tribal areas part 10 correct. Tribunals 11 correct. Tribunals are not mentioned in part 11 but part 14A. They were inserted in the Constitutions by 42nd Amendment Act 1976 under Article 223, under Article 323A, which deal with the administrative tribunals, and Article 223B deal with the tribunals for other matters. Part 11 has various provisions related to the centers-states relations. Hence, option D is correct answer. Part 14A they have inserted in the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act. So question tells which of the following is not correctly matched under the Constitution of India? Panchayat 9 correct. Municipalities 9A correct है. Cooperative societies 9B correct है. Tribunals 10 wrong है. Tribunals 14 में है, 14A में. So options D is incorrect. Tribunal part 4A में है. Thus option D is not correctly matched as part 10 is related to schedules and tribal areas. Which part of the Indian Constitution has provision for Panchayati Raj systems? Part 9. In which part of the Constitution of Panchayati Raj related to provisions has been implemented? Part 9. Match list the following first and list 2. Fundamental rights. Fundamental right. Part 3rd of the Constitutions. And fundamental duties. Part 4A of the Constitution of India. The Union Part 5th of the Constitution of India. Emergency provisions Part 18, 15, 16, 17, 18. Part 15 Constitution of India. Which one of the following is not correctly matched? Fundamental duties Part 4 is correct. The state 6th correct. Attorney Generals of India's Part 13 रॉन्ग है, ये गलत है। और सर्विस अंडर द यूनियन एंड स्टेट पार्ट 14 करेक्ट। द करेक्ट मैच इज फॉलोइंग ऑप्शन सी इज इनकरेक्ट था, वो हो गया। फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज पार्ट 4A, द स्टेट पार्ट 6, अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया इज पार्ट 5, द स्टेट पार्ट 6 था, अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया इज पार्ट 6 not part 13, article 76, service under the union and the state government part 14, part 3rd contain provision for trade, commerce and intercourse. List 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer of the list 1 and list 2. Part 15 of the इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस इस इलेक्शन से रिलेटेड है। पार्ट 16 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस स्पेशल प्रोविजंस रिगार्डिंग सर्टेन क्लासेस। पार्ट 17 ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेजेस। पार्ट 18 इमरजेंसी प्रोविजंस। Part 16 of the Indian Constitution related to Indian tribunals, all India services, financial commissions and special provision. Part 16 Article 330 to 342 of the Constitution deal with the special provisions relating to certain classes. So friends, हमने पार्ट्स ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन देख लिया। नेक्स्ट वीडियो में आर्टिकल ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस को की सीरीज़ को अब आगे कंटिन्यू करेंगे। सो फ्रेंड्स, तब तक के लिए थैंक यू। प्लीज़ लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब द चैनल एंड गिव एनी सजेशंस यू वांट in our comments. Thank you.